So we are doing chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita, verse 2. Thus transmitted in succession from father to son Arjuna, this yoga remained known to the Raj Rishis, that is the royal sages. Through long lapse of this time, this yoga got lost in the world, to the world. The yoga got lost to the world. These are profound sentences coming from Shri Krishna himself. Every time when this is lost, something happens. So a very important verse is going to be included in this chapter. Yada yada hi dharmasya. This is a very important verse in this chapter. It is going to get included. We will come to that verse very shortly. So Ishwaku gave it to his son. And then his son gave it to his son. And then their sons kept on carrying this whole thing forward. But every time when this happens, due to the age, the time factor which is there, taken into consideration the introduction of different gunas in this world, different characteristics, different traits and tendencies, human beings lose touch with spirituality. They lose touch with the spirit inside. The word spirituality is called adhyatma. Adhyatma. The inside of it all. The knowledge of spirit. And that gets lost. Today, everybody who is sitting over here has zero knowledge about the spirit. The spirit is what we call in our world as Jeev Atma or Atma. Nobody has the knowledge about Atma. Everybody is bothered about their physical body. Think about it. The physical body comprises of the senses, the breathing apparatuses, the breath body, then it's the mind, the intellect, and this is where we are caught up in the material world. Think. We do not even know, nobody in your family or anywhere has any idea. Absolutely 0% of people have idea that there is something beyond these bodies. Shri Krishna is saying this knowledge got lost. So he says, through long lapse of time, this yoga got lost to the world. The yoga of oneness with the divine. Yoga as a term means coming together. The union, coming together of this one soul, human soul, with this one soul, the divine soul, coming together, becoming the one self. We lost our identity, we lost everything that we know about the supreme divine consciousness. Shri Krishna is explaining this to Arjuna. Remember, this was explained in the third yuga. The third yuga is called the Dwapar Yuga. First, it is the Krita or the Satyug. Second yuga, the Satyug is the one when he says, the Manu was there. If you remember the previous verse, Shri Krishna says it was explained to Manu. So Manu's age was the age of knowledgeable people. They knew about this yoga. Please understand, it doesn't mean that just Manu was there. Okay? When we think that only Manu was there, you are wrong. Even in the Bible and other texts from other religions, where it is mentioned that there is Adam and Eve. Alright? Well, Adam and Eve could have existed in one place. And we know about Cain and Abel, their two children. One son murders the other. Cain murders Abel. This is known to us. It does not mean that the whole thing stopped over there. No, there were other children. Secondly, we are talking about a specific location. The specific location is to say a specific area, let us say the Middle East. or Africa. But there are other parts of the world also, isn't it? There is Asia, there is Americas, there is Antarctica, there is Arctic. You think those people never existed there? They did. Even at the end of time, when everything goes back into itself, you may think, oh, the earth is going to disappear. Sorry, who told you that? The earth is not going to disappear. The mankind is going to disappear. But for the mankind to disappear, there has to be some seed left somewhere. So the seed is going to be grown again. Think about it. There is a plain land which is raised to the ground, Let us say the forest fires destroys everything in one place. The whole landscape is charred, black, like soot. All the trees and everything is destroyed. Rain falls. Soon the buds start coming. So that means there is life somewhere. The seed is always there. So don't be under the impression that there was only one Adam and Eve. No. There was only one Manu. No. There's nothing like that. So the idea is that the first generation, the first one, we had pure beings. That is why they were all sadhus and all that kind of stuff. Krita Yoga was Sat Yuga. Sat Yuga is all about the truth. Everybody knew the truth. The second Yuga is called the Treta Yuga. Well, a lot of disturbances happened. There were kings and queens and all that kind of stuff. Then came the Dwapara Yuga. So Shri Krishna is in the Dwapara Yuga when he dies in a place called Prabhasa. The whole thing got stopped there itself. Prabhasa is in Gujarat somewhere. So at this point in time, the beginning of the next Yuga happened. The Kali Yuga started. Alright? So what Shri Krishna is saying to Arjuna, at the end of the Dwapara, when Shri Krishna was there, Shri Krishna lived for 125 years, Arjuna was also there in front of him, and he is saying there was deterioration in this yoga. People did not know. So take it like that. So if people did not know then, today is Kali Yuga. Everybody is lazy. You may say, no, Guruji, I am not lazy. I get up in the morning. I do this. Sorry. You are equally lazy. You are bitten by this bug called Kali Yuga. And because of this Kali Yuga, everybody turns lazy. Everybody turns into the same way. It's like apples in one box, Alright? If one apple gets spoiled, the whole lot gets spoiled. This is known to us very well. So, and we have genetic material coming from our fathers and mothers. If our father and mother were themselves lazy and procrastinating and, all kinds of things, you think the children are not going to, they will be equally like that. So think like that. So, we go to the next verse. We are doing chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita, verse 3. The same ancient yoga, which is the supreme secret, has this day been imparted to you by me because you are my devotee and friend. This is a sentence which will tell you that you also are a part of this. Somebody asked me a question whether are we supposed to be Arjuna or somebody else as well? And can we be Dhritarashtra? Can we be some other? No. You are listening to this satsang, isn't it? So primarily you are the Arjuna. You are not some secondary character in this movie. You yourself are Arjuna. Alright? So don't misunderstand that, okay, I am somebody else. I am Karna because I love Karna. Okay, some people love Karna a lot. I don't know why. Maybe in the movies he is a very handsome guy. That's why. So let us come back to the story. Shri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna. He's saying, I have explained this secret to you. The first time when he says, this is the supreme secret. Do you know many times in this scripture you will hear this word that this is a secret. You see, the idea that the secret has to be told to you, there is a book called The Secret and all that. Don't go by that. Here Shri Krishna is telling the real secret. The real secret is this. You are not the body. none of these four sheets that are there. You are none of this, by the way. You are not a human being. You are not the bottle. Bottle is the human being. You are the divinity inside. Got it? Understand that you are that soul. The soul which has taken the body as a house. This is the supreme secret. The secret is all these bodies, the sheets that are there, which is called the body sheet. First, number one, food body. Number two, it is the breath body. The third one, mind, intellect. The last one is the innermost body, which is happy body. As we don't bother about that at the moment. But these four bodies are the one you are operating with. You think you are the physical body. You think you have a breath. I am alive, so I am breathing. This is what you think. You don't require breath also. Okay? Third one is the mind body. Without your mind, you are nowhere, isn't it, today in the picture? Try to think, I am a mindless person. Okay? First thing they will do is put you in a straight jacket and put you behind bars. The fourth one is intellect. Most of the people in the world are dunces. Okay? Zero knowledge. But what Shri Krishna is saying, knowledge is inside this person also. The question is that today there are lots of disabled children, autistic children, so many kind of children are there in this world and so many people are like that. Please do not misunderstand this. They have the knowledge inside them. Got it? They are ever effulgent. It is the body which is defective. Let us say I go to the market and I buy a can of beans or a can of corn, or something, a pineapple. Now the can be crushed, while they're loading and unloading, the can could have got broken, isn't it? Can have a dent in it. Will you agree with that? So some cans are born like that with a dent because they got crushed under some weight. The physical defect or whatever is not responsible for the soul inside. Don't bother about it. The spirit soul inside is perfect. Perfect. It is the physical body which has undergone some problem. Alright? Maybe the lid is not proper. Maybe there is a dent in the body. Maybe it has got bent backwards or whatever. Don't bother about it. The truth is that you are not this body. Don't keep on saying that I am XYZ. Just the name of it's a branding which you have, The branding which you have on top. Okay, I am Heinz. I am this one. I am Kisan. That is not brand. It's a branding for the company, not for you. What is inside is the supreme soul. A small portion of it is there. This is the knowledge you got to have. And why do you rely on your mind? Why do you rely on your senses? And why do you rely so much on your intellect? This intellect is also duffer. This is a material worldly intellect. This is the yoga that is now taught by Shri Krishna to Arjuna. And he says, this supreme secret has been imparted to you by me. I have told you this. Okay? Because you are my devotee and friend. Now, do you remember my previous sentence where I told you, you are Arjuna? Got it? If you are Arjuna, and if I am doing the role of Krishna, who is telling you all these things, are you not the devotee and friend of mine? It's very simple, isn't it? So, explaining this, you have to understand that you are friend of Shri Krishna. Don't bother your head about all these other things. The moment you think you are somebody else, then you are no longer a friend of his, okay? So you are a friend. He's underlining the fact. So now let us move to the next one. You understand, Arjuna's way of talking is like he is now come up with a now valid question. We are doing chapter 4, verse 4. Arjuna said, you are of recent origin, while the birth of Vivaswan dates back to remote antiquity. How then am I to believe that you imparted this yoga at the beginning of the creation? It is but valid, isn't it? Sri Krishna was just born when Arjuna was there. So his question is valid. He says, but you were born now. How can you say that you were born earlier? And how is it that you are saying that you imparted this to the firstborn also? If Sri Krishna has imparted this knowledge to the firstborn, that means he was before the firstborn, isn't it? Common sense will tell you that. So Vivaswan came into the picture, the sun god, and if he has imparted the knowledge to sun god, that means Krishna existed even before that. So now Arjuna's question is valid because he looks at the physical body of Sri Krishna. You see, Sri Krishna has not done any miracles. You know that? So far he has not done anything. So far he is just like an ordinary person standing in front of him, is riding the horses, the chariot, and saying, okay, Arjuna, let us do this. Okay, Arjuna, let us do that. And whatever explanation that he has given just now, that there is the supreme soul, there is this and that, Arjuna is skeptical. He has got that skepticism about Sri Krishna. How can you say you are like this? Which is a fact. Because these are doubts which are raised by human beings. So you cannot say that you were there in remote antiquity, because Vivaswan was before the creation. Yeah. So we move to verse number 5. We are doing chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita, verse 5. Shri Bhagwan said, Arjuna, you and I passed through many births. I remember them all. You do not remember, O chastiser of foes. Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, the reason why I know all this is because you and I have always been there. Okay? Another supreme secret is given out over here. You and I have always been there. And we have passed through all these generations. What does that tell you? That Arjuna and Sri Krishna have been always together. The secret about this is, without the soul, the body cannot exist. If there is body, then the soul can be there in the body. How will anybody know if there is something there if the sheath is not there? Alright? Now let us take an ocean. Let us take this air around us. Can you understand that there is air over here? I don't think you will understand that there is air, because you have got so used to this air that you don't understand that there is air. Somewhere in Greenland or Northern Ireland, people, what they do is they take clean jars, bottles. They clean them thoroughly. They go out early in the morning near the sea, and then they just wave the bottle in the air, take the air, seal it tightly, and sell it for hundreds of dollars online. And there are lots of people in this world who buy this air. There are Japanese, there are Arabs and various other people in the world who want the whiff of this air. How do you know there is air in the bottle? The bottle is the container, isn't it? So because the bottle is the container, the air is there inside. I take a balloon. It is only when the balloon is there that I understand that there is air inside. If the balloon is blown up, then only you will understand that there is air inside. So Sri Krishna is saying, I and you have always been together. You is the body, the creation, and I am the supreme soul. You and I have always been there. Now I want you to think very carefully. when he says these words, he is talking to Arjuna. But when he says the same words to Vivaswan, the sun god, doesn't that tell you that sun god also has the same potency as you have? It's a commonsensical thing. The same words if he repeats to the sun, Manu. So isn't Manu the son of God? Isn't Vivaswan the son of God? Isn't Arjuna the son of God? Aren't you, who is a listener today, the son of God? It's a commonsensical thing where Shri Krishna is revealing the secret. You and I have always been together. And I have always been there. Without the soul, the body cannot exist. Right? This is a known fact. So, Arjuna, you and I have passed through many births. I remember them all, but you do not remember, O chastiser of foes. I remember. The Supreme Divine Consciousness has a clear idea about these existing different kinds of bodies that it has taken. They know. The Supreme Divine Consciousness knows. It is the body which doesn't know, because a body is only a container. How can that body know that this soul was there in it? Because as a body, you yourself think you are having some name. You have a parentage, right? You have your wife, your children, your brother, your sister, your mother. You have everything. Plus you are staying in some location. You believe you are the XYZ of that particular location. I am a citizen of USA, I am a citizen of India, I am a citizen of Bangladesh, I am a citizen of Pakistan. Everybody can say whatever they want to. Everybody will say I am male, female or whatever they are. It's an identification with the body and the place and the thing. All this, did you understand? But that is not correct. You were there before. I want you to think very carefully this sentence. Before you were born, before this birth happened, this one, the one which you are currently having, before this birth, you could have been a monkey. Do you think as a monkey you had a different parentage or no? So your parents would have been monkey only. So before this particular birth of yours, if you were born as a monkey and before that you were a bird, before that life you were an ant, your parents also would have been different. Isn't that right or wrong? Your DNA would have been different. If you are an ant, your DNA is not matching with the human DNA. Likewise, a monkey DNA doesn't match with the monkey's DNA. The human DNA. So everything is different. So the body has got the DNA. DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. So don't bother your head about it if you don't know. That's the body, through which we are made, like basic seed. Now think about it. If you were that and now you are this, and in the next life you will be born as some other creature, how do you know what your parents are? Your parents are only for this birth, isn't it? It is just a production lineup. Somewhere some machine is giving birth to something. So we don't have this as a parent. So the parent which we have in this life is not the same as the previous, is not the same as the previous, is not the same as the still more previous. So don't get mixed up around all these things because it is not correct. Alright? Now, let us come to, do you retain the memory of your previous life? Not at all. Like I said, if you are a monkey, do you remember climbing some trees? I don't think you remember that. If you are an elephant, do you remember trampling forest? You don't know that? No, you don't know that. Do you know when you are an ant, you are gathering all the sweetness, the sugar and all those things from different places? You really have no clue about all these things. So don't be under the impression that your knowledge is telling you what you did in your previous life. Nobody knows. Because you still think you are the body. The day you have realization, the day you know that you are the supreme soul, not the body, the whole thing is revealed to you. Immediately you come to know who you are now, in your previous birth and the previous birth before that. You know everything. So Sri Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, saying that you don't know the previous births, and that is the reason why you are behaving this way.